I want to actually take you down the memory lane first, right? Because I think this is how I was taught, and I believe this is how everyone was taught as well from our parents. Yeah. So there are really two schools of thought, right? The first school of thought is that you actually, of course, you got to study first, right? You got to study, get a degree or whatever, right? Study very hard and come out and work and don't get into business. I mean, typically for our parents, right? Don't get into business because there's high risk and all that, right? It requires a lot of capital. You don't have connection, and 80% to 90% of businesses fail within the first 2 years. Da da da. And you just work, right? You work, you save enough money, and hopefully along the way you buy a car, you buy a house, of course, right? You got to have a roof on top of your head, and
Mm.
hopefully by then you save enough, and that money becomes I call it, a kind of like dead money, right? Meaning it's not generating anything, right? It's dead. You are saving. Then hopefully that saving is actually big enough for you to retire and sustain your 20 over years of old age, for example. Okay. And very
Mhm.
typical, and I've actually heard a lot of people actually saying, hey, for example, along the way when you actually save and you buy a house, for example, you can continually upgrade your house, but you only need one because you only stay in one, right? So you only need
Mm.
one. So you continue to upgrade your house, but when you are old, you can use that as an asset, and you can always resell, right? You sell it and you actually downgrade, your house, right? Because you don't need to live in such a luxurious house anymore, and you can downgrade, and that can be an asset, right? But that kind of school of thought, unfortunately, actually gives us what I call the bell curve life. Don't you think? I mean, it's ironic, but it's really a bell curve life, right? Because you actually paid, you actually save, and you actually get, buy, the good stuff, and then during the old age when you wind down our life, you actually had to downgrade, right? You actually had to, have enough saving only just to sustain your life and nothing more. And that's not good enough. Unfortunately, this school of thought, we were taught that way. In fact, I was taught that way. Okay, 80 to 90% of parents actually taught us that way.